Have alleged an attempt by the federal government to shut down the internet and social media platforms ahead of the coming general elections and have called for digital rights to enable a free and fair election. This is as a result of different sanctions on different sanctions on media houses by some state governments and recent ban on Twitter by the federal government. Now, speaking during the roundtable meeting in Abuja, the executive director of Paradigm Initiative, Benga Sesong, said that such decision will have negative effects on the credibility of the process.
I point out to the fact that government can shut down again. And you know, Mr. Lai Mohammed was responsible for the June 4, 2021 incident. So he's the godfather of shutdowns in Nigeria, and he may do it again. Statements and comments and the actions of Mr. Issa Ali Pantami, the Minister of Communications and Economy, also are a pointer to the fact that government is at times more interested in protecting security, not security of all citizens, but security, the perception of security, than the rights of citizens. So we will not be surprised if that happens. Every country that will shut down the internet already has many things in place, at least 4 things. Number one, laws that they can rely on, vague laws, security laws, anti-terrorism laws, cybercrime laws, hate speech laws, and things like that. Number two, a history of clampdowns. Any government that shuts down the internet already has a tendency to clamp down. They don't discuss with citizens, they shut them down. The third is weak response either from citizens or from civil society. In many countries where government has shut down the internet before and citizens do not speak up and there's no lawsuit against it, they will do it again. You need to listen to some ministers, you need to read some policy documents, and you will know for a fact that left to certain individuals in Nigeria today, especially ministers that are in charge of propaganda, they will shut it down without hesitation. The government does not become the one that determines what is true and what is false, because if that happens, then we're all in trouble. But the second thing is to also make sure that we also encourage our community online to be responsible with the use of the internet.
They said there are collaborative efforts with organizations and stakeholders in the digital rights and inclusion sector to bring about positive change and to ensure every individual has the right to privacy, freedom of expression, and access to information online before, during, and after the election.
But the third thing that we want to do is to make sure that there's also positive rights legislation so that citizens can be protected. That's why, in 2014, we started working on what is called the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill, which was presented to Parliament in 2016, passed by both Senate and the House in 2019, not signed by Mr. President in 2019. It's come back to Parliament now, and we will see what happens between today and May 29, 2023.
Our activities in this area are not just focused on the Nigerian election. Rather, we are actively working with different digital rights stakeholders to provide support and resources for safeguarding digital rights across Africa. In terms of empowering people and defending their rights, our work with Reporti, Ayeta, and the Londa report represents a significant step forward in that direction.
How do you do that? But don't also, not just in terms of shutting down the internet alone, we also don't want government to shut down specific platforms like it did with Twitter the other time. We want all of them to be helped during the election, but not just those popular ones alone. Also, smaller platforms like your blogs and all of that. We want every platform of communication to be available to citizens to access information during elections. And for people who do media work, whether online or offline, we want them to be able to carry out their work without any intimidation.
The aim for the roundtable discussion is to seek government assurances and cooperation with media ahead of the general elections and to seek protection of journalists from attack.